Hi everybody, welcome to the 4 to 5 Friday edition. Always way more fun than the other four.
Yes.
Eric, Chad, Tim, and Lauren with you today.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching us on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and we're also on the News 2 app.
We got a lot of fun things coming up this hour, but this half hour, we're going to be asking you, what do you want in your...
Christmas stocking.
Nope.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
This is actually for the next hour.
Your cereal?
Nope. What would you like in your advent calendar?
Oh.
You know how they make advent calendars
with
for all
everything
things now? Yep. So let us know on Facebook. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to be talking about that.
I already have mine on
Cereal.
my desk. You see what Handy Rivera gave me?
Yeah,
Hot
that was a
sauce.
nice gift.
Love that one.
25 little bottles?
Yes, 25. Yeah, 25 little
It's
tiny
so
bottles,
small.
different flavors. It's like one serving.
Heavy box.
Yeah. All right, Rain, we want this out of here.
Yes, good news. Most of the rain is pretty much over, at least for today, or at least we haven't seen any in several hours. What we are still struggling with is the cloud cover, though, and it's really uneven across the area. Myself, on the drive into work today, hey, I had some peaks of sunshine this afternoon. Burlington, you've been in the sun quite a while now. Greensboro, though, still kind of thick with the clouds. Temperature is about 48 degrees. I do want to show you this Winston-Salem camera, though. Most of the afternoon, we honestly haven't been able to see much out of it. Right now, still kind of the case. The fog is really thick, but it's important for us to know whenever we show you this camera, it's on the Winston Tower in Winston, and it's about 500 feet above the ground. So it's always going to be the first camera of ours that's in the cloud cover compared to the other ones. Temperatures here are in the 40s as they have been most of the day. If you're in Asheboro, you're at 52. Burlington, 52 because of that sunshine we were talking about a little while ago. Right now, all of the rain is to our south. Now, if you're going to the Grimsley game at Chapel Hill, I do think it will be dry for this evening, but it'll be cloudy and it'll be chilly. Now, look ahead at your futurecast. There is a small chance of a shower or two overnight, and then heading into tomorrow, we're still kind of stuck with the cloud cover, everybody. So it'll be a gray Saturday. Showers will return Saturday evening with sunshine coming back Monday and Tuesday.
The easiest way to keep up with weather in your area is to download our free WFNY News 2 app. You can customize alerts, so no matter where you are, you'll always know what's coming. All right, let's get to some of your headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. A man accused of killing a 14-year-old boy pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter today. Investigators say 18-year-old Tristan Johnson shot Marcus Key last November at 4th of July Park in Kernersville. The DA says two groups were arguing with each other in the park and online. That's when Johnson left and later came back with a gun. A witness says Johnson let off a random shot while leaving the park. That shot hit Key in the face. It wasn't until later that night when Johnson found out about Key's death. The judge sentenced him to 77 months in prison. The city closed the park down for investigation, but it's now back open.
Greensboro police believe 2 bank robberies and a business arson are connected. Investigators say this man you're about to see here, hopefully about to see here, there he is right there. Investigators say he is connected to all 3. They're looking into a robbery at Truist Bank on Elm Street this morning and Wells Fargo on Pisgah Church yesterday. Police also believe he's connected to the arson at Family Dollar on Cone Boulevard over the weekend. If you know him, call police. Police in High Point are addressing growing crime among kids.
Many of our offenders are juveniles, which means they're under the age of 18 years old, but they're committing clearly adult crimes. Every one of these incidents that we're talking about here today could have ended up in a homicide. And it may not even be their intended target.
Police charged 4 teenagers last month accused of shooting 2 other kids on Halloween. Investigators are now linking the group to even more crimes. Officers say 3 of those teenagers were involved in 3 other shootings. Police say they found at least 6 stolen guns and 6 stolen cars during their investigation. The suspects faced numerous charges, including assault with a deadly weapon.
Congratulations are in order for the latest round of UNCG graduates. The scholars crossed the stage this morning for the fall commencement ceremony. North Carolina A&T students will gather for their ceremony tomorrow at 10 a.m. Winston-Salem State fall commencement is next week.
You know, giving back, that is something we should teach our kids at a young age. And the staff at Northern Guilford Elementary School, they believe this as well. The students and staff put together what they are calling blessing boxes for the less fortunate. It's just another way to show compassion this holiday season.
They just went in an ordinary shoebox, and inside we made them for men and for women. They had socks, they had gloves, deodorant, toothpaste, soap, and different items that the homeless shelter said that people are really in need of when they spend the night at their facility. So this was just kind of our way of, also sharing a little bit of hope and encouragement to these people.
So the boxes will be delivered a little bit later, but the staff says that the lessons for the kids, that's already begun.
I think there are two goals and purposes for this. I think, one, it was for our staff to have that opportunity to literally give back to the community. But, being an educator and around elementary school children, the greater purpose is also just teaching them and modeling to them this need to give back when you're so fortunate.
So she had gone on to say, Miss Weeks there, she goes, we're very fortunate, at this school, lots of people will pitch in anytime we have a big cause. And so it's a teaching moment, right, for all the kids to participate in it and understand what happens when you give.
Absolutely. I think it's so important to start at this young age because it really does stick with you into your adult life. I know I was in Girl Scouts, youth group with the church, and as I've gotten older, it's something that I've always wanted to do. And I think it's also great for the kids because it's fun. It feels good when you help other people.
And when you're that little, you're not cynical yet. You know what I mean? Like you get them first early and yeah.
And it can be so cheap to put together something like that. I mean, you don't have to spend $100. I mean, you could put together these little boxes that go so far for some kid that just wasn't expecting it.
It's funny, I don't know if you noticed, but some of the boxes the kids would draw pictures on them and write little messages of hope and inspiration. It's really cute.
It makes it really special for whoever it's going to.
First time they're doing it, I think they want to try to make it a yearly thing.
Yeah, that's great. Well, the next couple of days, big deal when it comes to high school football. Jalen, tell us why.
Chad, it's a big weekend in high school football. 3 local Triad teams vying for a state championship, and all 3 could be crowned the winner. The Whirlies, the Granite Bears, and the Rams all fighting for a top spot. Stay tuned right here on WFMY News 2. We've got more team coverage coming up for 4:30.
Celine Dion is shining a light on a rare neurological disorder known as stiff person syndrome. Thursday, the superstar announced she had been diagnosed with the condition. I spoke with a neurologist about the disease and who it affects.
Singer Celine Dion sent shockwaves around the world when she announced on Instagram Thursday that she is postponing her concert tour after being diagnosed with stiff person syndrome.
Sometimes causing difficulties when I walk and not allowing me to use my vocal cords to sing the way I'm used to.
As I said, it's very rare.
Dr. Jim Karras is a neurologist at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist and a professor of neurology at Wake Forest University School of Medicine. He says stiff person syndrome is an autoimmune disorder that is characterized by muscular rigidity that occurs along with muscle spasms. One estimate says it affects 1 in a million people.
I've been doing this over 25 years. I've only seen 4 cases. Here at Wake Forest, we have under 10 total. So there's not a lot of this out there.
Dr. Karras says there is no particular risk group. Early symptoms can include unexplained falls and spasms in the back.
If people get startled all of a sudden, they may lock up or freeze up for a few seconds and feel like they can't move. Over time, people get kind of a curve in their back often, stiffness in their neck, upper arms. As I said, they can walk funny. They walk like the Tin Man when it's really severe.
The severity is different for each person, with some becoming hospitalized. Though there is no known cure for the disease, Dr. Karras says it is treatable.
Most of the patients are functional. They're up walking around. They may appear fairly normal, but they're on a lot of medicines to keep them that way.
Though this disease can impact anyone, Dr. Karras says it's more prevalent in women than men. He also says people who have other autoimmune conditions like type 1 diabetes, they are at higher risk. One of the biggest things in the interview he said was, we're not just talking about when you wake up and your back is hurting a little bit or you have a little neck pain. This is literally people who lock up and they cannot move. So for him to say in his 25 plus years of doing this and only seeing 4 cases, that just goes to show how rare this condition is.
It worries me because she said it affects your vocal cords, and that obviously she's concerned about that. And I know, is this correct that I think she postponed all appearances for a year to see how she's going to do? I think that's right.
And it's wild that there are so many diseases that we just don't know about, and just at the general level. And then all of a sudden, when someone who is famous, when they say that they have it, I mean, then we learn so much about it.
It brings our attention to it. And I asked Dr. Karras, I said, how much research is actually out there since there aren't too many people who have been diagnosed with this? We're talking 1 in 1 million. And he says there is some research, but there could be more. And he also said, diagnosing this can get a little tricky, and about 3/4 of people diagnosed have been misdiagnosed. So it's tough, but the good news is it is extremely rare. So if you do wake up in the morning and have a back spasm, don't start thinking that you have stiff person syndrome. He says they're going to look at your medical history. There's also some blood tests that can be done to help diagnose this.
Well, I like the fact that he said at least there are medicines that they can get on that can help, and maybe she'll be totally fine to the eye.
Yeah, and she's going to be working with doctors. She said that in interviews and on her Instagram page. So hopefully we can see her back on stage singing soon.
That's what we want. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Triple. Hey there. We are going to do some weather now. We're always chatting. This is why we talk for a living, because we're always talking. We want to show you, of course, what's been going on today. And honestly, this has been basically every day of this week where we've had the clouds and it's been gloomy outside. But I do want to highlight, look at the differences in our Triad cities. Some of you have enjoyed actually quite a bit of sunshine this afternoon. Not everybody. Burlington has been one of those folks. High Point too. Winston-Salem has been cloudier and foggier as well. Temperatures look like this. It's been cool all day long. Mid-40s to the north, mid-50s to the south and to the east. That is where more sunshine has been happening. And if we widen out the view, you'll notice this cooler air has kind of been stuck here. It is in the 70s in Georgia though, so there is still some of this warmth that's been lurking right along the Gulf Coast, kind of really close, but not quite in our area. So we've been in that cooler zone throughout the day today. That same pesky front that's been giving us the clouds, giving us the rain, it's still close by. And that's why we are not done yet with the clouds or even with the rain chance. I do think as we go into tonight, a stray shower is still possible. Most of your Saturday, though, should be dry until we get to Saturday evening and early Sunday morning. That'll be our last chance of rain for a little while. Sunday afternoon, that should be dry as well. And then as we go into next week, things are staying dry. Our first good sunny days in a while are happening early next week. I know it's back to work, but we don't make this, up. This is what we are dealt with, right? Monday and Tuesday, lots of sun, both of those days. Clear as a bell. 53 on Monday, 49 for Tuesday. After that, we'll have a system to track next week. We're going to watch this very closely. Wednesday into Thursday, temperatures are cooling down. It'll be in the 40s barely there, I think, with a whole lot of rain on the way toward Thursday. After that, kind of the winter chill is settling in. So buckle up. Winter time is coming back. I know some people not only not liking the clouds this week, but they say it's not really feeling like Christmas because it's been a little too warm. We've had the clouds. We've had the gloom, but certainly we haven't had anything wintry. 4 years ago, though,
yes.
Boy, oh boy, do you remember this? A lot of us do. I know myself, Chad, you do too.
Wow.
Look at that. Ooh. It's the 4-year anniversary of one of our biggest snowstorms on record. This was the third snowiest day in Triad history, if you can believe it. In fact, 12.8 inches of snow fell in Greensboro. Lauren is surprised here.
Wow.
You might not know it snows like this sometimes.
Yeah, I would have thought I was up in Syracuse or something. That's a lot of snow.
And you can see by the video here, this was a really big storm, of course. And what I remember about this, not only did we get about a foot of snow, but it was fun. It was a fluffy snow at first. And a lot of times our snow can kind of get ruined by sleet or ice or anything kind of ruining it for the kids. A lot of people had fun in this one. And it was on a weekend too. So it was Saturday, Sunday. The kids were still out of school for a whole week.
The whole
Yeah.
possibly for longer. I mean, it's crazy, but
Because it was, it shut us down for a little bit, but
it sure did.
It always does.
Yeah, what do you remember?
I remember coming into work when everybody else was going to have snow days. They happened on a Sunday, so it was all hands on deck whenever there's a weather situation, as it should be. Our bosses brought in food for everybody. I mean, it was pretty wild.
I remember I had a little bit of trouble getting in. I was slipping and sliding around a little bit, even though I had a SUV with 4-wheel drive. It was tough at times to get in there, and Tim and I both live kind of out in the county, so it's a little rough.
At the time, I lived probably 8 miles away from the station, and I got a hotel 4 miles away from the station.
I did too.
Because I didn't think I'd make it back the next day.
I always do that.
It was one of those storms, so this is not that common,
Okay.
right? This is a big record storm for a reason, but every so often, every couple of years, we do get a big one. And people always ask, when's the next big one? We don't know.
I asked you the other day, what did you feel in your spirit if you felt like this upcoming winter was going to be pretty bad?
Well, I will say this, we almost always get snow. There's never a Triad winter where you don't get a flake of snow. We always get something. All those ingredients together to mix in just the right way with the cold air, the moisture, and nothing to turn it into sleet or freezing rain.
And if you look at us from an average standpoint, 7 to 9 inches of snow is probably a good average over the years. But there's some years we get nothing, and then some years we get that in one day.
By the way, that 12 inches in Greensboro, not the highest amount, by the way. Some people had closer to 18 inches up by the Virginia border. It was a big storm, for sure.
And if you want to see a picture of Tim Buckley without a beard, go to my my work Facebook page, Chad Sober, WFMY News 2, and you will see him as he's
Yes.
forecasting.
Back
Clean
in the
shave.
day.
Looks like a little
We
baby.
haven't had a big snow since then, so someone told me shave the beard, we'll get snow again.
See what happens.
I'm gonna keep it.
Let's not do that. Yes, we'll be right back. Stay there.
Take me off of it.
Yeah.
Wednesday night.
Facebook. What is happening, Facebook friends? Hey, we're going to be talking about that Advent calendar. Oh,
We got some music. Club 4 to 5.
that. Oh no, I know what this means. This means our director Brad getting ready to do his psychedelic directing. Advent calendar. What would you like to have? A personal Advent calendar. I got one a week ago. Someone gave me one a week or two ago with little tiny hot sauce bottles all in it. Yeah, that's right. Hot sauce.
I never even thought of that as being something to put in a calendar, but that's awesome.
you
I
could
can see
get
a lot of
anything.
people would like that. I think I would like, I love chocolate, so I know those are out there, but maybe tea, like different teas,
Yeah. Well, that'd be
or
a tea sampler.
tea sampler, or wine.
Oh, little
wine.
candles. Our producer Keanu said. Tim, what would you like? Tell me, I'll relay it.
Maybe little chocolates.
Yep, that's what we do for our kids. Our Advent calendar is little chocolates every day for the
I
kids.
think that would be fine. Or what else could you do?
We let the kids.
Is it always food?
No, well, I
No
don't
candles,
think so.
right?
Yeah.
I wonder if you could get little soaps.
Yeah, that might work.
That would work.
Little tiny
Teeny tiny little
Bed Bath
tree
and Beyond
ornaments.
soaps. Oh yeah.
Tree ornaments?
For like a
Yeah.
little tiny
Yeah.
tabletop tree.
Or like little perfume samplers, or
That would
cologne
work.
samplers.
Or we put it.
Ooh, I think. Are we looking at? Is that our director Brad's favorite? It is.
That's your place, Eric.
That's Keenan Stadium, Brad's favorite football stadium in the state. Yeah, everybody, look at him. He said it. Got to get a live shot of Carter Finley there, big guy.
Did you see that article yesterday about the?
All right, we got to go. We'll. You know, The Daily Show is marking the end of an era. Host Trevor Noah signed off on CBS-owned Comedy Central last night. Noah's decision to leave aligns with similar big names in the game. This could be signaling a larger shift in late-night TV.
It was a night of tributes for Daily Show host Trevor Noah.
The whole time here, it felt like it was just the two of us immigrants just coming together to tell Americans what was wrong with them, which they always appreciate.
As his correspondents and celebrities took turns sending him off with a bit of a roast.
As someone quitting a job in America, you're about to lose your health insurance, so you should probably sign up for Cobra.
But the show's heavy dose of comedy also turned poignant, with Noah reflecting on his 7 years and the state of American democracy and polarization.
Somebody that you may not agree with on most things can do something that you like.
And taking an emotional few minutes to thank those who had shaped him.
You truly want to know what to do or how to do it, or maybe the best way or the most equitable way? Talk to black women. They're a lot of the reason that I'm here.
September 28, 2015.
When Noah first took over The Daily Show from his wildly popular predecessor, Jon Stewart, his very first joke highlighted just how far he had come.
I'm not going to lie, growing up in the dusty streets of South Africa, I never dreamed that I would one day have, well, two things really. An indoor toilet and a job as host of The Daily Show.
Though Noah initially struggled to attract an audience, his show eventually grew in popularity, particularly on social media. But TV viewership has continued to decline, falling 58% since the start of the 2016-2017 broadcast year. And The Daily Show isn't an isolated case. The leading network shows have all seen double-digit decreases, prompting concern over the future of late night.
Wow.
Yeah, Noah's exit is one of many of the high-profile changes hitting late night in recent months, including the cancellation of Full Frontal with Samantha Bee and departure of 30-year veteran Conan O'Brien and James Corden, a relative newcomer who will step away from late night next year. So this is a thing. I was shocked at those numbers of viewership dropping.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are all sorts of reasons, right? It could be, but it's a shame when you lose some of the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Especially people you grew up watching. I think just in this new era of streaming and social media,
right.
that's where things are going. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe some of these folks will hop on that wave and kind of rebrand how they broadcast news or entertainment.
I'll tell you, here's a big example of the difference of how late night TV used to be so big. So back in the Carson era when he dominated, nobody touched him. That show was responsible for 30% of NBC's total revenue. Like, that's how big late night TV was, and nobody ever beat Carson when he was on the air, but that was, I mean, that doesn't happen anymore.
I'm also curious to find out whether, because we see the numbers, what are networks going to do to try to bring viewers back? Is it another host? Probably not. It might be a format change. What are you going to do? What are you going to put there to make people want to watch again?
Or is it all just going streaming?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, or maybe even a digital platform, because that's just kind of like where things are headed in that direction across the board.
It's just so fragmented because you can have 1,000 channels for CBS. You know what I mean? Like you could fragment it into everything you want to. A million choices out there.
Well, we're going to be here forever.
We're never leaving. Staying here. We'll be right back. Shame to the desk.
No, I was just, we're up in a few minutes.
I'm about to say that's not me. Mic check, Jalen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Would have like a briefcase that they used to carry their gun in. Okay. So we've had them hit on it before.
Oh my.
Now as far as in here.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check. This is just a mic check. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Y'all hear?
We told you we weren't leaving. We're still here. In fact, we added one.
Hello. You're here forever too.
Oh,
what do you think about that?
That's good to hear.
Decided. Welcome
Never
back.
going
We'll
away.
be in here in 50 years.
Keep talking, Tim.
Still cloudy.
We are back, and Tim's going to have an update on the forecast coming up. We're also going to be talking about what do you want in your Advent calendar. So I see Jalen Gilkey is over there. Jalen, think about it. But what would you want? Let us know in our Facebook comments. We might share them if they're PG.
That's right. That's as far as
That's a good one. You got to put that out there.
Okay.
But first, it's a big weekend. High school football state championships. Yes. 3 local high schools are vying for a state championship.
We've got team coverage today. Amanda Ferguson, she is in Chapel Hill ahead of tonight's Grimsley game. Jalen Gilkey was at Grimsley for the hometown send-off, and what an atmosphere, Jalen.
Yeah, Chad, you're absolutely right. As the Whirlies loaded up the buses to begin their journey to Chapel Hill ahead of tonight's state championship game, the Grimsley community showed up and showed out. The fan base wanted to make sure the fellas know that the city of Greensboro wants them to bring home that state title. The Grimsley Whirlies are just 1 game away from their second 4A state championship in the last 3 seasons.
I mean, this is awesome. We've had great support all year, and our community, our school, our students, faculty have been behind us all year, so it's awesome for them to be here today.
But before tonight's big game, the community wanted to show the Whirlies how much their team means to our city.
I just think it's exciting that Greensboro's gotten behind Grimsley High School. They're supporting Greensboro. I mean, Charlotte came through. We beat all the Charlotte teams. We're taking them to the state championship tonight. I think it's great.
Friends, family, and fans from all across Greensboro came out to support the Whirlies. And of course, there's only one outcome everyone wants to see.
State champion. Is there anything else? You're going hoping for the best, playing as hard as you can, and come back with the victory.
We're going to win. We got to win. We're going to win.
Now we're going to send it out to Chapel Hill, where we find our very own Amanda Ferguson as she awaits kickoff.
Hey Jalen, as you can see behind me, Grimsley is coming through right now inside of Keenan Stadium. I asked head coach Darryl Brown how he's feeling. He said, we're ready, just calm, just like that. And guys, this is what you play for. It is Championship Friday here in Keenan. Grimsley and New Bern playing for the 4A state championship title. Grimsley coming into this game 15-0. Their opponent also undefeated. Grimsley's been playing some tough games, but you know what? They got here, and this is an accomplishment in itself. But they didn't get this far just to get this far. Quarterback Ryan Stevens and Coach Darryl Brown tell us how they're feeling ahead of this game.
Just knowing that the job's not finished. I mean, we still have to prepare the same way we have all season. I mean, 16 games is a long season. I mean, it's almost like an NFL season.
You know, we've had 5 really tough football games, and I've been really proud of our kids, how we've handled that grind, and dealt with a lot of different things, injuries, sickness through the stretch. Just really proud of our guys, how they've handled each and every week and been able to prepare the right way for different opponents that do different things.
Again, the Whirlies are coming in. They are here getting ready for their championship game tonight. Grimsley and New Bern kick off here at 7 o'clock. We will have all the highlights for you coming up tonight at 11, so stay with us.
Yeah, Amanda, but the Whirlies aren't the only Triad High School looking to bring home that state title. The Reidsville Rams, who have won 22 state titles, the most in the state of North Carolina high school football history, are looking to bring home number 23 tomorrow. And head coach Jimmy Teague has been a huge part of that history as he's looking for his 9th championship with the Rams. And we caught up with Coach Teague earlier this week as his team looks to rewrite history.
This part doesn't get old, and again, I say every year is special. No matter how many times we've done this, it's very special, especially for seniors, because they don't get to do it again. We get a chance to do it again, but the seniors, it's their last time around, and we've always said we've never been fortunate enough to have a great football team without a great bunch of seniors, and just so proud of our seniors again this year for helping us get back to having a chance to go win this thing again.
Reidsville will take on East Duplin in tomorrow's 2A state title game. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. And the Mount Airy Granite Bears also will be playing. Did y'all hear Eric going crazy? That's his school. They'll be playing tomorrow, looking for their first state title since 2008. They'll take on Tarboro, who's won 5 of the last 6 1A and 1AA championships. This one kicks off at 3 p.m. Mount Airy head coach J.K. Atkins says his team will be ready to go.
You know, we've got to come up with a good itinerary that's going to get us ready to play. You know, whether it's 7 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I guess it really doesn't matter. You know, our guys they're ready, you know, or they think they're ready. They'll be ready by Saturday, and so we'll have them ready to play by 3.
Mount Airy and Tarboro will take the field inside of Carter Finley Stadium out in Raleigh tomorrow.
I just am so excited for these players to be able to play in these huge stadiums. I mean, what a cool opportunity.
It is neat. I've been to watch it before, and the kids are so excited. They walk in like they're going into the Super Bowl, you know.
And you're definitely excited. We
wait.
heard you going, woohoo!
Yep. This is because I were in 2008. I went to see them. They went 2 years in a row, lost one, then won one. And I went to the year I went to see them, they lost. The year I didn't go, they won. So I'm not going.
Yeah, you got to stay away.
Make sure I'm gonna stay home.
But the one thing I love about working here is the fact that we have such great football programs, and every year it seems like we have at least one team make it. I'm usually at least two. True. But this year to have 3 teams there, I just can't wait. I'm so excited for all the guys and I hope they can bring home those trophies.
Which one would you say are there any of those 3 teams that it's kind of a surprise that they're there?
Mount Airy, I would say, they kind of had a rougher road, not this year, but just the previous couple years. They've been building back up, trying to get back to that elite program status that they've had. I mean, they won their first championship in 1935.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is a program that's used to winning, and now they're getting back to that, and to see the boys get out there and Coach Atkins be able to lead the boys on down to that possibility of that championship is awesome.
They used to be, when I was in high school, they were 3A. We should not have been 3A. And we had to go up against these huge schools. I had 169 in my graduating class.
No, that's not 3A.
That's not a 3A.
That's not 3A.
They had 169 in each class, right?
Yeah.
Classrooms.
Are there any teams or any student athletes that might have gone to the state championship before, like say if they were a senior on the team?
So we do have Reedsville, because they win and go to the state championship
All
all
the
the time. They've got guys that were on that team when they won in the spring of 2021. Also, there's some guys on the Grimsley team as well that were on because they won the same year in spring of 2021. So there's guys that are familiar with these moments, but there's also a lot of fresh faces that are making big noise. So here, one last reminder of this weekend's games. Grimsley and New Bern will play in the 4A final tonight at 7 p.m. Reedsville and East Duplin meet up Saturday morning at 11. Both of those games are at Keenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. Mount Airy, they play Tarboro Saturday at 3 p.m. and that game is at Carter Finley Stadium out in Raleigh. Now we're going to take it on over to Tim for a look at the weather.
All right, Jalen, I don't think weather's going to play a big role in the games. As far as big wind, we're not going to have that. As far as big rain, we shouldn't really have that either. So even playing field, I think, for all of our local teams. Hopefully they can go 3-0. Clouds are with us right now, as they have been pretty much all week long. The fog that was in Winston-Salem, that has lifted very nicely now. We have a clear view of the skyline. Temperature pretty much everywhere is in the 40s at this time. There are a couple of warmer areas. If you are watching us from Alamance County, Chatham, over to Moore and Montgomery County, or even Randolph, you've had a good amount of sunshine today. The rest of us have not had much of that, and that's why it is cooler. No rain to speak of on radar right now. That does bode well for Chapel Hill at 7 o'clock this evening. If you're planning to go root on the Whirlies, you should stay dry. Just bring along a jacket in case for later on, because some of those showers might start to squeak in as far as 10, 11 o'clock this evening. As you see right here, this is 11 o'clock tonight. A couple of sprinkles are possible. We'll keep that chance into Saturday, but overall, it's another day like today, where there are a lot of clouds. It's pretty cool. We're stuck in the 40s for your temperatures, but really rain should not be much of an issue for tomorrow. As far as the rest of the weekend goes, by Saturday night, that's when we have a better chance of some of these showers moving in. After 7 and 8 o'clock on Saturday, we could see some of that rain, and that could linger into Sunday morning. It's that same frontal system that won't go away, so when that last batch of rain moving in, it does seem to be a Saturday night and Sunday morning issue, with Sunday afternoon seeing improving weather. And look at all this sunshine over here. It's finally going to move in by Monday, and we have a nice weather pattern to enjoy, at least for a couple of days. It's chilly this weekend. High temperatures will be in the 40s. Monday and Tuesday looking better and drier as well. We will have to keep an eye on the system, though, coming our way Wednesday night into Thursday. Right now, I'll keep the temperatures in the 40s, but there are mixed signals. We could be colder than that with an icy concern. We'll keep you posted as we get closer.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, slowly but surely, people and businesses in Moore County are getting back to normal after that power grid attack over the weekend. Lots of businesses lost lots of product and, in turn, lots of money.
We probably lost anywhere from, I don't know, $600–700 worth of ice cream because it stayed good for a little while, but after that second or third day, it was done. The freezer couldn't hold it any longer, so.
The FBI is searching cell phone records to find out who was near the substations at the time of the attack. We are approaching our annual holiday blood drive. It's at the Greensboro Coliseum Complex next Tuesday from 7 to 7. You can register ahead of time or just simply show up. We have more information on WFNYnews2.com. And as Christmas quickly approaches, you might be surprised to know tomorrow is a big day for buying electronics. According to decades of data, December 10th is the best day for electronics discounts. The 12th through the 15th are good for sales on video games and consoles. December 14th is the day many retailers offer free shipping.
Well, you know, half of Americans say there is not enough time in the holiday season for everything they want to do. In fact, a recent survey of 2,000 people found that more than half wish the season lasted longer. Folks say from last-minute shopping to wrapping presents, it's just too much to keep up with. So I asked you on Facebook, how do you get everything done during the holidays? Answers were awesome on this one. Denise said, start early. I'm almost done with shopping. Cards have been mailed, decorating's done. The only thing left to do is get a couple of gift cards and plan and shop for my meal on Christmas Eve. Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Anna says, everything doesn't have to be perfect. Remember that. Take time to enjoy all the little things, especially family. Christine says, I set some goals for myself this year. For example, I wanted my shopping done by December 1st, wrapping done by a certain date, and mailing by a certain date to actually help me stay a little bit better organized. Michael said, I set the bar really, really low years ago, so now if I do something, people are impressed. Edward says, I just crawl under the covers and wait for it all to end.
That's funny.
It's like trial and error with me. You know, a couple of years ago, I got everything done really, really early, and I was really just able to enjoy like the 2 weeks before Christmas. And so I try to do that every year because it was so enjoyable and so less stressful.
The older my kids get, the easier it is, because it's easier to buy for older kids. You know, little kids, you see everything and you want to buy it all for them. You know,
Right.
I mean, you just say, oh, this is so cute, this is good. But now they're getting older, they're like money and a gift card.
Right.
And so now I think my wife and I are finally getting to a point where we can kind of
Relax a little bit.
Yeah.
In your story, the study was saying some people wish that the season was longer. I think it's great the way that it is, because if it was longer, I think people would still wait to the last minute to do shopping, because that's just kind of in our nature. Like, think about when a professor says you have all semester to work on this project, and then the night before you're like, if I just had more time. Well, you had all semester to do it.
That's why we're in TV, because TV people do well under like today,
deadlines.
get it done and finish with it. You give me a week, I'm still going to do it.
Yeah, I'll put it. I got
time.
time. I got time.
See, and the reason why I would like it longer is because I just love this time of year.
Oh, I do.
You know, just the celebrating and the anticipation before Christmas. Like, I really like that. But I mean, look at the way things are going now. I mean, it's creeping up closer to Halloween every year. I mean,
closer to 4th of July for some stores.
Exactly.
Early Christmas sale.
I'm jealous of Chad because when he goes home for Christmas, there's probably always snow on the ground,
And
right?
it's 40 below zero.
Oh my God. Well, I'm not jealous of that part. But
You're living in a snow globe for a week. That's
right.
for sure.
We'll be back.
Ben Briscoe here with a question for you. Which Wii's working today? Ben Briscoe here with a question for you. How much time do you spend looking for stuff you lost, like your keys or your wallet? According to a survey by Pixie Technology, the average American spends 2.5 days every year looking for lost items. The top misplaced items were the remote control. 71% of people lose it at least once a month. More than half of people surveyed said they were regularly late to work because they had to find missing car keys or other stuff. And altogether, Americans spend $2.7 billion every year replacing the items they lost. What do you guys lose?
Well, the remote is a big one.
That's huge. At my
I
house.
will look in all the cushion covers and I still can't find it, and I say, where else could it be? And I look again, and then eventually it was in the cushion, like under, in between,
yes.
and I just didn't look hard enough.
So that's the worst for us, only because of my little kids. So they take them, and Tyler takes it with him everywhere. I've found it in the bathroom before, in the
fridge.
the fridge.
Are you sure you didn't
The
do that?
fridge.
Well, now the fridge might have been me. Yeah, I'm horrible at this. So.
It's really my car when I go places, like if I'm parking in a busy parking lot. I'm like, where the heck did I park?
Yeah, for me,
Find
it's
my
when
car
I
at.
come into the studio, I always put my phone down somewhere, so I don't have it
looking
with
everywhere
me.
for it.
Cannot find it after the show every single day.
I lose a ton of things, so I guarantee you my stat is higher than the stat you read. About
And
the
then when
average
you
person.
replace it, you end up finding it a week later.
Yes.
Well, one of the things that I have started using for my keys, at least, are these Apple AirTags. Have you guys ever used them?
No, but I've heard about it.
Okay, so it sends a little Bluetooth signal to all the cell phones around you in the world. So at any point, you can pull it up on your phone and see where things are at, and you can even send a little alert to make it have a sound.
Oh, it makes a noise. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know
like
that.
a ching ching.
So you can find it.
I put mine in my luggage because I don't trust that airline to do anything with my luggage.
It'd be horrible.
So I'm able to track it on a map, and I know that it's at this airport.
So that tracking has a
Brazil.
lot of people worried now, and there's actually a new class action lawsuit because people are saying stalkers are using them.
Interesting.
There were definitely lots of times where I didn't sleep well. There's been a lot of therapy since then.
After a relationship ended, Lauren Hughes says her ex-boyfriend used an Apple AirTag to track her every move.
I got the alert that said an AirTag was moving with me. I just literally dug around the edges of my car and eventually found it in the wheel well.
This quarter-sized device designed to track your wallet, luggage, or your keys, but it can also track you. The proposed class action lawsuit accuses Apple of negligence and seeks damages, as well as an order to stop Apple from releasing what they call an unreasonably dangerous product into the market. Apple said it will not comment on ongoing litigation. But in February, the company listed a number of safety measures to address unwanted tracking, adding, "We condemn in the strongest possible terms any malicious use of our products."
I'd much rather spend another minute looking for my keys than live in a world where every movement is tracked.
Albert Fox Chan is a surveillance technology expert.
You can try to make improvements around the edges, but as long as you're selling a cheap, ubiquitous tracking device, people are going to misuse it.
I want Apple to make their devices safer or remove the product from the market.
So Lauren was able to find the device because she has an iPhone, which alerted her. But for people who don't have an iPhone, they have to download an app and check it constantly to see if they're being tracked. Apple, by the way, suggests if you feel your safety is at risk, contact law enforcement. We'll be right back.
Advent calendars are a popular tradition that has spanned generations. The little calendars count you down to Christmas and reward you each day with a treat, whether it's candy, toys, alcohol, even hot sauce. Who doesn't love a daily surprise? So I wanted to know, if you could get anything in your Advent calendar, what would it be? Melita told us on Facebook dark chocolate, and Bobby Odom said he wants wine.
Oh,
tiny
Wine
little
would be
containers
great.
of wine.
I didn't know that was an option.
Yes.
Can I change my answer?
Yes,
now?
yes, because you can even go to stores and see like craft beer.
Okay.
So I mean, imagine carrying
What about the little-
How big is the?
Yeah.
Is it? Are they little tiny bottles
It's like
or?
airplane bottles?
Yeah,
yep.
Okay.
something like that. Did you have those growing up? Because we did not at my
Advent
house.
calendars?
Yeah.
It was my favorite
Really?
thing, like that we could do all December long.
As a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
You open the little doors?
And there were little pieces of chocolate. We
Yeah,
all
that's
got
what-
one.
So we didn't do it in my household, but when I lived overseas in Germany, I took German in. My teacher, he had one for the whole class, and every day he would choose a different student to open it up.
That's fun. A little surprise in
We
there.
never had them, but my wife has done it for our kids, so we have them for our kids.
I think it's a fun little tradition if you can do
Yeah.
it. We didn't really do it either. I don't know why. We did have an Advent wreath at the middle of the table. I don't know if y'all know about that.
How does that
So
work?
there would be a different calendar or different candle, I should say, for every week.
Oh.
So the first, third, and fourth, or sorry, the first, second, third are all purple, and then the third one is pink.
Oh, I
Are
did
there?
not
Are they
understand.
different scents or?
Weird.
Yeah,
You know why I bet you weren't allowed to do the Advent calendars? Because it was only chocolate when we were kids, and your dad
Yeah.
is not going to, the dentist isn't going to
The
allow you to
dentist,
have
that's right.
25 pieces of
He
chocolate.
loves chocolate. That's true. I will say that.
Okay, what would you put in yours? I thought about this a couple of times. Cookout milkshakes.
Oh, my
gosh,
goodness!
that'd be
Little
great.
milkshakes.
Yeah,
That
just
would be
25
great.
different ones.
Yes.
Also, any type of like alcohol or like a mixed cocktail.
Okay.
I'll go with that, plus, or the hot sauce, which somebody gave me this year and I love.
I bet Jelly Belly makes one. Do you think
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they
Probably
should?
because they have a ton of flavors.
Yeah. What about you? Any other ideas?
I like the wine idea, but I also like the idea of having different perfumes or colognes in each one because
Those have
I'm a
sodas,
scent
too.
girl.
Yeah.
So
Our boss Kim said she wanted a whole thing of Kendra Scott. So
That'll
I
work.
don't even know what that is.
It's jewelry. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Okay. Is it? Oh, it might have been rubbing on my jacket. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I had it under my jacket. Brett, is this better? Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check. Mic check.
remember. Hello, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2.
Argentina. 1 2 3 4 5.
The lights are on back in the classroom. It's back to school for Moore County.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check, mic check, mic check. 1 2 3 4 5.
Check 1 2 3 4. The power is restored in Moore County.
So periodically, as a good parent, I like to make sure that I embarrass my children. And they have a love-hate relationship with dad jokes. They love to hate them, but they also kind of like them and don't want to admit it. So I'm going to do yet another episode of My 2 Cents Dad Jokes version. So my wife asked me where I get so much candy from. And I said, I always have some Twix up my sleeve. Hey, I used to run a dating service for chickens, but I found it difficult to make hens meet. What do you call a bundle of hay in a church? Christian bale. That's right. So I just found out that I'm colorblind. Boy, that news just came right out of the purple. After his crop died, the farmer decided to try a career in music. Why? Because he had a lot of sick beats. Oh, but that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
The lights are back on, kids are back in the classroom, and it's back to business for Moore County.
Yep, just a little less than a week ago, gunfire damaged the 2 Duke Energy substations, sending over 40,000 people into the dark.
Power was out for a majority of those people from Saturday evening all the way to Wednesday